This is not a religious movement, and we don't promote religion. Instead, we encourage our listeners to keep an open mind, to do their own research, and find their own truth rather than believing every word we say. If it resonates, please continue to promote your growth through meditation and love.
Awesome. And like I said, my name is Soila.
And I am Eva.
And today's topic is energy update.
Update energy.
Or energy update. Well, we just want to talk about how the energy is feeling throughout the Mother Earth and what we've been finding through all this week, the guidance that we have received, and all the beautiful spiritual guidance that we can share with you.
Shall we explain what we mean by energy?
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
So energy is, if you know on like physics term, energy is something that we cannot see, but it's always there. Like everything is energy. So like the lights, even like our bodies, certain items vibrate at a certain frequency. So there is energy actually moving through space and time, and yet we cannot see energy. And so there is this famous quote by Einstein where he talks about everything is energy. And the beauty about that is that spirituality also acknowledges that. And so when we're talking about energy, there is this, if you're into manifestation, then what you put out there is like you're putting out a frequency out there with your thoughts, with everything. So sometimes, a lot of the time, energy is flowing through society, through everything, through even like as Zoila was starting off with Mother Earth. So there is an energy coming around and going through this earth. And Zoila, tell us more about what you've been feeling.
So, thank you, Eva, for your explanation. I think it's quite clear. Also, I would like to add that energy is the frequency in which we all moved around, the frequency in which we all adapt and connect. Yeah, we're still having like a little issue with my microphone is coming off and on. And
just carry on, yeah.
But guys are saying, it's fine. We can
this
hear.
This is interesting because we're talking about energy.
Yeah.
And so there's
and the energy is fluctuating.
This is great because this is actually fitting with our topic. So the universe is backing us up here with
a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So carry on.
Yeah, like I was saying, energy is the way in which we connect with the things around us. That's why sometimes we feel quite inclined to feel like somebody else's feel when they tell us a sad story, or whether they tell us a happy story or a weird story. You just connect with a person or with that story, and your energy kind of imitates the waves or the feeling that somebody else is feeling. But in this occasion, we would like to address energy today as a collective feeling.
Yeah, I just had, while you were talking, I had this image in my mind. When you blow on water, the ripple effects on the water. So that's how you can see energy, is you only see the effect of it. You don't actually see it passing through.
Yeah.
And there is this like experiment that was done on water. The way the words you speak to it will form and shape the water in like crystalline forms. If you like zoom in with like what's called like one of the cameras where it really catches how what the water is formed in. And so words and like intentions are passed on. You know how you walk into a room and suddenly you just feel the energy, like it's like heavy, or if people are having a good time you feel really light when you walk into a room. So that's what we're talking about.
And that type of energy actually, I would like to clarify, this is more of a repercussion or a result of energy, a form, physical form of energy. But what Costa said is the source, the energy that we would like to discuss today, because like you were mentioning, the waves on the water, they are caused by an impact. The impact itself is the power that comes from the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the physical world, the world in which we live, oh gosh, the world in which we live reflects the energy back to us, so that our eyes can put some meaning to what is happening.
Perception, what we were on about.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Time.
Yeah. So what I want to share with you, and is the reason why we put the topic of this week, is there is a warning for everybody who's listening, everybody who's inclined to spirituality, everybody that has a spiritual heart, or someone that is interested on knowing more of what we really are. And it is that there is a... Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Because it's probably my headphones are playing with me. There is an energy, a heavy energy. And by heavy, I don't mean to say that this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be taken as a dark energy. And by dark, not necessarily is bad, you know what I mean? There are dark things, and as a society we have gone through the putting significance to the word dark, which not necessarily is bad, okay? But there is a dense energy.
Dense energy, yeah, that's a better way of looking at it.
Going around. And if you know about energy, I want to classify it in 3 levels. It is more complex than this, right? But if you don't know, I know that you are going to learn this in a quicker way if I explain it this way. 3 levels: higher, medium, low energy, right? Higher energy, let's say happiness, love, things that out of the blue makes your heart pump faster. That's higher energy. Medium energy, when you have no good or bad thought in your mind, you just feel neutral, at peace actually, neutral, in a balanced status, okay? And lower energy is when you feel low, when you feel down, when you feel sad,
Anger.
when you feel unmotivated. Anger can take you to the lower, very bottom, but it's quite parallel to higher, because they are both of them in the different spectrum, if that makes sense. Like, it's like if they are facing the wall on their back to each other. You know what I mean? You just have to turn a little bit, and then you have anger or you have love. You know what I mean? They are really on the same spectrum. Now, what I want to say is, if you didn't know about energy, 3 levels is fine: higher, medium, low energy, and it is completely your choice to interact or disregard this energy. All I'm saying is, you have the power to engage or disengage with it. You have the power to receive them or to reject them.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that we always have a choice on like how we interact with these energies. So let's say we're talking about these feelings. We've got, happy, neutral, and low energy.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people, when they're, not aware of this, what happens is I start identifying with these like feelings. So we're like, I am sad. And notice how I say I am, which suggests that this is your reality.
Yeah.
But the thing is, feelings, they come and go.
Yeah.
So they're not actually, they don't define you. So one day you can be happy, one day. That's why we say there's no negative or positive, in a sense. There's no good or bad.
Yeah.
Because feelings come and go. So it's like, oh, now I'm in this frequency. So
Yeah.
if we just see as frequencies, as numbers, so love would be like already, let's say 1,000.
Yeah.
And 500 is medium, and then 1 would be low, right? So if we
Yeah.
start looking at it, it's like actually, it's not like one is better than another. It's like, as Zoila was saying, your heart is just beating quicker or slower.
Slower.
And so what happens is we start identifying, and to actually be able to create the choice that Zoila is talking about, to create choice and be able to move through these energies,
Yeah.
we need to be able to become aware of them. And this comes with, the self-awareness, that's a skill,
Yeah.
and non-judgment. Because as
Yeah.
soon as we're like labeling that this is who I am, sadness, then we get stuck in it. So we have to become the third observer, and it's like, oh, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling happy. And once you realize that that's how you're feeling, and you know deep down that you can move through these shifts, you can start in your head coming up with new thoughts, or even just telling yourself like, I am moving into, I don't know, joy, or thank you for being there, sadness.
Yeah.
I acknowledge you.
Yeah.
And I release you. But as soon as we're like, oh, I don't want you, we're actually pushing it away, and then it'll push back. And then we actually sit more in sadness because we're adding more of that frequency. Notice how when we're avoiding something, we're trying to push it away. So we're coming with the pushing energy, and that's a low energy. So what's happening is we're just adding more low energy to our low energy. Notice how when you're happy, you're going to be like, life is amazing. I can't believe, I'm like so excited that I just did that. It's like life is just beautiful. And so you're actually adding more high energy to the high energy.
Definitely.
So what has to happen is you have to become aware
Yeah.
of the energy so you can move through it.
And becoming aware will give you the tools that you need to switch between them. But above all, know that anything that is happening to you is not happening just so you feel that way, but it's happening for you to learn something, get it, and move on to the next stage. That's the reason why sometimes we feel that we are repeating the same mistake. And the reason is, if you're repeating the same mistake, the same things that you didn't want to do, but you consider yourself to be a mistake, the reason is because you haven't learned yet from that situation. At the minute you learn, it's like you have the key to move on. See, that makes sense in my brain. Hopefully it does make sense to our listeners as well. The things are not happening because of you. They are happening to you with a reason, so that you can get the skills, move on to the next level. And what is going on around here is that there are so many light workers now, many people talking light over people like nowhere else, like you haven't seen before, or I haven't seen before. Because now people are awakening a bit more, are being more inclusive in their mind, more aware of, I have the choice to change my transcourse, my course of events. I have the choice to be the director. I have the choice to be the actor, the main character, the secondary character. I have the choice to be the script writer. You are, Eva, because you do that. Well,
I write, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, people are waking up from this dream that we call humanity, that we call life.
That we are beyond the physical.
And what is provoking is that what we call life is not really life anymore. We are learning that it's a school. We come here to learn. But in the school, you choose to do the homework or you choose not to do the homework. Now, if you don't do the homework, like I was saying before, you are rolling on the possibility that you might need to repeat that course that you've taken. that phase that you're experiencing. And with that, what I'm saying is, we have a choice. And because of that, we have realized that it's our choice either to take a course or to take a different one. But either way, we are here to learn. We are here to experience. We are here to take us to the next level. I mean, the energy is saying we are going to a higher vibration to where we were before. Which is not the simplicity that I explained before, either going low, medium, and low and high, right? It is a bit more complex than that, but going in the same sense of going higher up. So what may seem high at this very moment might not be that high in the future. Does that make sense? And the more you learn, the more skills you get, the more prepared you get to go to the next level. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. And I think, like, yeah, people get stuck in this, like, oh, I need to go higher, I need to make things happen. But higher doesn't necessarily mean better. There are so many different realities. Like, if you might, some of you may be aware of it, if you're into like all the spirituality and the new age and things, that there might, I've heard that there's a split in reality as well. That, you know, this, some people going like, you get to choose, like, this is the moment, like when you awaken, you know, you usually choose to go the way that will benefit you. But if you stay, you know, asleep, not saying that that's bad, but then the experiences that you will have will be, you know, of a more stressed kind of reality. And so yeah, we are evolving. Like, obviously, look at the last 10 years, like how, you know, technology is going and all these different things. And I mean, we could go in so many different directions. So it's all up to you as the listener. Where do you want to go? What do you want to create? And what energy do you want to give out? But there is also the collective energy, because you know how, for example, you might go to a concert and you might watch someone performing, and then there's this, like, suddenly, like, the whole room is full of this, like, you know, high energy, right? You're creating, you know, and then that's the collective energy. So imagine all the people on this planet, like, what, billions of people, and we all have a collective conscious, because, like, it all adds up. So whether you're high, you're low, you're medium energy, it all kind of, you know, there's an average. Like, if you put everything in a pot, it will mix and find the average. And that is why people meditate together. That's why people come together at retreats and meditate together, because then they can create more high vibrational energy.
And I'm not, like we said at the beginning, this is not a religious movement or anything. But even the Bible, it says, where there is more than one praying, there is power. Right? Which means togetherness. And makes sense. 1 and 1 is
2.
2 and 2 is
4.
4 and 4 is
8.
I'm not testing your math skills here. I'm just trying to make a point. If you add one skill to another skill, it's always gonna be more than the previous one.
And that
you can't add, and it's gonna be less. Do you know what I mean? See what I mean? So if there is more than one people connected in the same feeling, and this is what is happening actually. It's happening. Many people, and I started saying by that at the beginning. Many people are going, oh, it's true. I have the ability to choose. Then I choose what I would like for myself upon you. I'm choosing light. I'm choosing love. Many people now, when you go out there, and this is happening now in the UK, right? You walk, and there is at least one person is gonna smile back at you if they get to do a eye contact, right? Or, like me, for example, there are many people, oh, you have such a beautiful hair. Just out of the blue, a person that you don't know what, that's spreading light. And there are many people doing that. And I'm encouraging you, listeners, if you can hear my voice at this very moment, at least do one nice message to a person that you don't know while you're walking. That just, sorry, let me just lower this. That just open up the box of good energy, the box of, I don't even know how to call it, because there's no way in which I can put into words what is the effect of spreading lights, spreading good words, words of goodwill, of a person that you don't know, that maybe you will never see again, but you're taking from your personality, from who you are, your time, to at some point feel a bit shy and even embarrassed. You know what I mean? But in reality, you're spreading light. And where light is, shadows cannot be. But shadows are created. Do you think that makes sense, or do you want me to explain a bit more what I meant by that?
Well, there's always balance, right? Yeah, so do explain.
Imagine you are in a room that is completely dark. There's no light. And suddenly somebody turns on the light. Now, what happened in that room, Ava? What do you think?
It became light, right?
Yeah.
You get to see everything that you were not aware of previously.
Exactly. But if you have an item, let's say a table, what is happening with that table?
What do you mean?
If you turn the light on,
Yeah.
you might be able to see the table now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but what happened with that table now? The
What?
table that's physical is creating shadows.
Ah.
Okay, we got there. Hopefully I'm not being too confused. This is, you know, at the same time it's complex, but hopefully I'm doing an easy job here, or a good job explaining what I mean. The table is physical, is enlightened, but at the same time the table is creating shadows. Because before was all shadows, but now there is light. If the table wasn't there, the table wouldn't be able to create the shadow of the table. The shadow table.
Yeah, because there's the physical.
Exactly.
That's why I'm just smiling, because it reminds me of, like, because we're actually light beings. We're not, we have shadow because we're in this physical body. But imagine if there was no shadow, then we wouldn't be in the physical form, because we would be light beings.
Exactly.
Aha moment when the light bulb, like,
that is exactly what we did on the room, isn't it? We turned the light bulb. But yeah, that's exactly what happens. The physical can create shadows, but the soul cannot create it. I mean, if you're a shadow soul, you are a soul, but in reality, the soul is part of the light. And when I'm saying the light, I'm not saying this bright thing that you say and enlighten everything. Light itself doesn't mean that. If you search for light on the dictionary or something like that, you're gonna see it's most like a powerful being, which is obviously creating clarity, not necessary electrical light. That's what I meant. But creating clarity around. And because the soul is coming from the light, you call it universe, you call it God, or whatever you want, is a wave on itself from the same source, or from the same light. So the physical can create shadows, in conjunction with the soul, but the soul itself is coming from light. It chooses because we have freedom,
Free will. We have free will.
yeah. But in reality, we're coming from light, from waveforms, from
frequency,
powers,
yeah.
from frequency.
We're conscious.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it.
If you search for the meaning of that scientifically, is power, clarity, meaning, like you said.
Amazing.
I know, right?
It's mind blowing when you think about it.
And that is what is happening actually, and I wanted to reinforce on that. There is many people now awakening. There is many people now that are realizing, wow, what I was told on the TV a couple of years ago is not a reality. Because on the TV we were getting a bit more physical, to the point that many people forget that we are more light beings, or souls, or spiritual beings, more than physical. But because we're living a physical experience, is a bit confusing, and sometimes it disbalances the reality.
Well, we're here to have that physical experience, so there's no need to be like, oh my god, I don't want my physical appearance, or I don't want to live in this world anymore. Because as we said previously, is that, we're here to learn. So this earth is part of, there will be duality, there will be, in a sense, good or bad, but there is no real good or bad. It's just like, you have a pencil, and you have, this is one end of the pencil, this is the other end of the pencil. And so one end is, I guess, love, and the other would be the opposite. And love is, where we all came from, or the energy, like everything is energy. So you can call it God, you can call it the universe. Yeah. But yeah, so we come all from that place. And so when we take on the physical vessel, which is the human body, we are here to have a lot of experiences, and we are actually supposed to experience low vibrations, low energy, so that we know and remember what love feels like. So next time when you're low, there's no need to be like, oh, this is me, this is my reality, I'm a bad person, or that person did this to me. It's simply feel the feelings, because it will remind you what love really is.
It will remind you what love really is. It will remind you who you really are. It will remind you what's the purpose of us being in this earth. Mm-hmm. And that is what we need, actually. I think it's time for us to go into
our meditation.
Our meditation of the day. We're not gonna have the cards reading today, but we're gonna take a time for the meditation, and at the end we're gonna take a time for some questions. If you are listening on Instagram, we're having some difficulties on the YouTube channel, but if you're watching on Instagram and you have any questions, we're more than happy to go for it.
So let us go into our guided meditation. I should say that please do not attempt this while driving, as you might go into deeper levels of calmness and inner work. So we don't want you to cause an accident. So if you're driving, just listen. But if you are, in a comfortable position and you are not focusing on anything right now, then please do close your eyes, sit comfortably. If you lie down, that is fine too. I usually fall asleep when I'm lying down, so yeah, just sit down. And today we're going to breathe first. So let us breathe. Today we are going to connect with our inner love. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let us take a moment to become aware of ourselves. So focus on your head. And we are just going to release any tension in our forehead. We are going to feel our way down from our head all the way to our toes. So let's smooth out that forehead, shall we? Our nose is getting comfy. Our cheeks are getting comfy. Our ears are getting comfy. Our mouths and lips are becoming comfy. And our chin is becoming comfy. Let loose of our neck. Our neck becomes flexible. Move on to our shoulders. Release all the tension. They become heavy. Our shoulders become heavy. Our arms become heavy. Our hands become heavy. Our chest becomes heavy. Our torso becomes heavy. Our pelvis becomes heavy. Our thighs become heavy. Our legs become heavy. And our feet, they release all the tension. Let us imagine this anchor going from our stomach all the way into the ground, into Mother Gaia. Imagine this anchor going deep, deep into the earth. And when it finds the core, we hook onto it. So I'm gonna count down from 5 to 1. And when we hit 1, we're going to click into the center of the universe, our earth, Mother Gaia. 5, 4, we're getting closer. 3, imagine all those layers of earth. 2, we're very close. And 1, we click into Mother Gaia. Let us return to the body and up into our head. We are going to open ourselves to the wisdom of the universe. Release the light. Open yourself up from the light that's coming in from the universe through your head and into your body. You are now open to the wisdom of the universe. Feel the energies from Mother Gaia and energies from the skies above. Everything is one. You are one piece of the big puzzle. Imagine yourself in a safe space. Let us explore this place. Are you in a forest? Maybe you are down the beach. Or maybe you are in the comfort of your own home. You're safe here. What can you see? Look around you. Look around this space. Take your hands. What can you touch? Maybe it is the core of the tree. Maybe it is a book in your sacred space. Maybe you are flying through the sky. What does this air feel like on your skin? Take a deep breath in. What can you smell? What can you smell? Is it fresh? Does it smell like any specific food? Maybe it's dusty, like your attic. What can you taste? Did you drink something earlier today? Maybe there's something in your room that you would like to try. Just taste. And what can you hear around you? Are you hearing leaves rustling in the wind? Maybe it's animals. Maybe it's just pure silence. You look up and you see a being of light. This being has come here to give you a message. A message about the light, about your heart. It's here to remind you what connection feels like to the world around you. Take in this being. What does it look like? I'm going to count down from 5 till 1, and you will meet in the middle where you can have your conversation. 5. You take the first step towards this being. 4. Another step. 3. You're halfway there. 2. You're very, very close. And 1. You stand in front of each other. You feel the energy coming from this light being. Listen to its guidance. It is here to tell you about the light, about consciousness, about energy. What will you learn today about the world around you? Listen. Listen to the wisdom spoken to you by this messenger. Do you have any questions? Maybe you would like to ask a specific question about light, about love, about your heart. Ask the being if it can show you what it's like to feel love. I am going to count down from 5 to 1, and this being is going to show you what love feels like, what it's like to be the universe, what it's like to be the whole. So 5, you feel the energy coming from this being. 4, it intensifies. You feel a pull towards this being. 3, it's like you've got a magnet in your heart and this being has a magnet and you're slowly being pulled towards each other. 2, this feeling is becoming stronger and stronger. And 1, you click together these two magnets and you become one. Love is available to you right now. What does love feel like to you? What does being part of the whole feel like to you? What does it feel like to be energy? What does it feel like to be beyond the physical reality? What does it feel like to be whole and complete? What does it feel like to be you? Wholly you. What does it feel like to be consciousness? Feel it all. This is you on the most deepest level. You beyond the human experience. You in your fullness. You simply are present in this very moment. Explore. Explore and feel. You are the world. You are everything. And remember, you are this energy, always and forever. This energy cannot be destroyed. This energy is simply transmuted from one form to another. And you can access this anytime you want. So now that you know your vastness, you know who you are deep down, you can never forget it. You cannot forget what love feels like. You can never forget who you are. So remember that what you feel right now, you can access any time you want. So let us thank this moment, this being that has helped us connect to our inner wisdom. Thank you, light being, for showing me the way home to who I am. And I will now return slowly to my physical body. And so I shall count you in, as always. And know that when you return to your daily life, you are already love. Every step you are whole and complete. There are no questions about it. So let us return and spread that joy, that love that we are experiencing right now. 5, we thank the being for showing us the light. 4, we close the light in our heads. We close the portal. 3, we unhook from Mother Gaia. This does not mean that we are separating ourselves. Mother Gaia is always there. We can always hear her heartbeat now that we are connected on a non-physical plane. Because now we are aware of energy, we do not need to be physically connected. We can just sense it. We can just connect to it now. 2, you are back in your room. Can you hear anything around you? Maybe it's time to wiggle your fingers. Maybe it's time to wiggle your feet. Because we are now back in our bodies. And 1, we have returned to this beautiful vessel that carries us every day. And when you are ready, you can open those beautiful eyes of yours so that you can spread that joy from within into the physical. Thank you for coming on this journey with me.
That was good. That was powerful. Thank you very much for leading us on this journey, Ava.
You're
Truly
welcome.
appreciate. Would like to share like a little bit of my experience.
Of course.
You know, before you mentioned it was a light beam, I was like, yeah, I can't see it because I saw the light, like I mentioned before, this non-human form shape, but it was warm and calm and welcoming, and it was light, like light, proper light power. And I didn't know what to say more than, I can't understand you, but I welcome you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you started, it has like a shape of an insect, but it wasn't like an insect. It wasn't an insect, but it has like the shape of the how's it called, with the big
Yeah.
hands, green.
Yeah.
It's like a stick insect.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't an insect really. It was like that. Some of it has that like hand shape,
Yeah.
but it wasn't an insect. I don't know how to. I'm trying to explain so that everybody understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we started talking telepathically.
Wow.
It wasn't words. Now that I'm thinking, because when I was there, I didn't realize it was telepathy, but I wasn't talking. It was like if we were connected. Every time we get closer, And I tried to hug that thing, and I felt it wasn't the way for them to get closer, but just embrace it all, because it was like transparent, translucent, like it wasn't physical, but it was embracing it all. And I felt peace, and I felt warmth, and I felt really nice actually. And showed me like a wave, oh sorry, like a wave pattern.
Yeah.
When you were talking about ask him to show you love, it went completely scientific, and I was like, okay.
Feel the science.
Yeah. Explain love with mathematic, arithmetic, and wavelengths. But yeah, it just showed me that pattern, and it was so beautiful because it wasn't human. Because it was a wave, yeah, on its way to see it from the outside, but it had layers, and it had life, and it had meaning.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful. Thank you for guiding us.
You're welcome.
Your experience? Were you meditating while you guided?
Oh, yeah, I sometimes find that quite difficult sometimes when I'm guiding, because I'm choosing my words, but I did feel the peace. So I saw the light being as just like this white light, I just felt very peaceful.
Yeah.
And I felt the love, and like I just felt like a bit like teary-eyed almost, like really like, when you're sometimes super blissful,
Yeah.
and you're super happy about a situation, people can cry as well.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like the edges of my eyes were just a bit wet, and I just felt so much inner peace and so happy.
And that is the purpose, isn't it? Feeling balanced.
Yeah.
It's like, you remember we were talking about the different layers or levels of energy: low, medium, high. It is high, but it still feel like balance. Have you ever felt like it is something really big, small?
Maybe.
Well, when I was initiating in this spirituality when I was a child, I was taught something that was really, really big, but was small, which doesn't make sense now that I'm thinking about it. Doesn't make sense in human mind, because if it's big, it's big. It's small, it's small. But in spirituality and in energy, actually, there is something that is balanced, but still high vibration. When you feel in balance, it's normally when you are in higher vibration. It doesn't have to be too high that gets out of the wavelengths or the patterns, or too low that then you disappear on the waves, or there's none waves at all. But it has to be the more balanced, the better, in any science, in any skill, in anything that you do. Balance is the key. And I felt that way when I was shown what was love as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I hope our audience feels the love.
Yeah, I wanted to say, actually, if you want to know more about what we do and who we are, please follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and follow us on our social media. We will truly appreciate it. We are under the name Guided 888, and Eva and Zoila, your host for this radio show on Radio Platform. We're going to be broadcasting live every Monday
at 5 p.m. UK time.
We are a couple of sisters, really. We are not blood sister, but we met for good. And we are doing this to create awareness around the whole UK and around the whole world. Actually, if you are listening from another country, we are based on the UK. But our mission, Eva, our mission is to bring awareness
to the world.
Yeah, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah, as we said, we're not a religious movement. We're just here to remind you of who you are so that you can shine, and find your true self, and then hold that light that we just explored in today's guided meditation. You are already whole and complete. And it is okay to feel low, because that's what being part human is all about. Just don't label it.
Don't label it, and don't engage with things that might be unbeneficial or not beneficial for your nature.
Yeah, so take that time to look within.
It's been a pleasure to be here with you, Ava and Soila, one more time. It's gonna be see you later. See you next Monday.
See you next Monday.